How do? Welcome back to Morgan's Creations. I'm Mark, and today we're going to be painting this Kroxigor from the new Seraphon set. Now, I've already gone ahead and built the model, because I feel like that takes up a little too much time, makes the video a bit longer than it needs to be, but we're just going to go ahead and start priming. Going to go with Vallejo Matte Black Primer, and then moving in with Vallejo, I think it's Mecha Primer, but it is the flat white. So we're going to go through and just apply this to the entirety of the model before moving on to adding some shades. Now, I don't want to go too complex with this, so I thought I'm just going to do some shades and then maybe move on to some contrast paint a little bit later. Gonna let the paint do a lot of the work for me. Like I say, I don't want to go too complex with this. So here we are with the first layer of shading.
Mark, you've got to be kidding me. You're just gonna do slap chop and be done with it, aren't you? If Aaron were here, he would kick you up the backside. What happened to the quality of these videos? Are you even trying anymore? Be better.
Alright. Here's me starting to think that George wasn't here anymore. But yeah, he's right. The quality's gone down just a little bit. To be fair, it's gone down quite a lot. So we're going to try it a little bit harder. We're going to go a lot more ham on this paint job. And the production quality is also going to improve. I'm going to try it out like this. You'll have to let me know in the comments if you'd like it this way. And we'll perhaps carry it on like that. So the plan hasn't changed much. We are starting with that shade. And we're just going to move in by mixing Ushabti Bone with a little bit of that Pallid Witch Flesh mixed in. Always test it on your thumb, check the consistency of your paints. We're just going to apply that to all the raised areas of the face. I'm going to work in small sections here. You can see I'm quite a slow painter. And I think this whole paint job took about 27 hours. But we're just going to keep adding a bit more of that Pallid Witch Flesh before we get to our highest highlight, which on the face is going to be pure Pallid Witch Flesh. Now, I actually wasn't too happy with how dark the shade was, so I came in with a nice thick layer of Seraphon Sepia again, just to make that a little bit darker. And you can see how that's improved the model. And we're going to do basically what we did with the face on the rest of the body, to be honest. But as you can see here, I'm trying to do cross-hatching. I have seen a post online where somebody's painted an orc bust, and to get realistic flesh, they've done a lot of cross-hatching, which I wouldn't have guessed. So I'm just giving that a go on here, and we're going to add in some of that AK Interactive White, and that's just going to bring our highlights just that little tiny bit higher. And to be honest, I love this paint, so I'm just using any excuse to use it. I just want to take the time that if you're going to be painting something like this, like I'm going for more of an albino look, so I made sure I had plenty of references of albino crocodiles, and it's honestly helped me out a ton. And I'm somebody who used to do digital art, and I wasn't too big on using references, but when you're doing stuff like this and it's something that you see in nature, just use them. You'll realise quickly how much it improves your work. So to increase the contrast, I decided to paint the scales with a base coat of Abaddon Black. And we're going to slowly mix in lighter shades of blue, and that's going to show up a lot more of the detail of the spikes, as well as showing that this surface is in fact still slightly reflective. So it is reacting to the light. That's why you start to see the blue edge highlighting. That's what I'm working on here. I'm going to be using various mixes of Lothern Blue and Dark Reaper, moving more towards Lothern Blue at the highest points where the light will reflect. So I'm going to put up a picture now, a bit of a close-up. That's just going to show you that it's still reading as black and you're still getting that high contrast. Now at this point I was getting a little bit tired of painting the Kroxigor, so I moved on to the base. I had built this off camera as you'd seen at the start of the video, but I just wanted to show a little bit of the work that goes into it. And if you've seen my videos before, you know I don't really play the games. I haven't ever played any of the games, so I like to make my bases a bit more extreme. I do actually keep this on the same size base as it came with, but I like to hint at a little bit of story, because to me, the story of what's going on is pretty important to me. So in this case, I've got the lone Kroxigor just patrolling the area, going up towards the water's edge, just inspecting to see if anybody has come into their territory. Now, I haven't actually come up with a tribe that this guy's part of, so if that's something that interests you and you want to build the story around this model a bit more, let me know in the comments, let me know what you think. So in previous videos I've attempted non-metallic metal, and to varying degrees I've had a little bit of success, and other times I've given up completely. But I decided with how good that white AK Interactive paint was, I'd take the risk and buy the gold non-metallic metal paint range from AK Interactive. And I have seen some reviews saying that the instructions that come with it are a bit like the OWL tutorial, but that's going off the pictures. If you do actually read what it says, it does go into a bit of detail, and I understood it. If I can understand it, I'm sure a few more people can. Now I'm sure you've already guessed this, but I'm not sponsored by AK Interactive. If they want to, I'm open to it. Send me a message. But yeah, I just really like the product, and it's the best attempt I've had yet. Quite successful, I'm happy with it. And I might have to move into a few more of their paints. And I'm sure you're wondering why I'm not really explaining what I'm doing. I can't put it into words. There's a lot of good tutorials online. I think Ninjon's done some, Squidmore's done some. They can explain it better than me. I work better off pictures, and if you can see what I'm doing, you might be able to figure it out. If not, watch their videos, they go into way more detail, and they do it a lot better anyway. And like I said, really happy with the product, and I'd say this is the best attempt I've done at non-metallic metal. The contrast is high, the values quite different. Probably could have gone a little bit darker in some areas, a bit brighter in some others, but as you can see here, it looks quite good. And I have actually added resin to the base to make that pond. Once again, I've used AK Interactive moss deposits just to make a bit of that algae growing on the top. To finish off the model, I'm just going in with some Blood Angels red. I think these are normally blue on the box art, but working with the colour scheme that I'm going with, red seemed like the best option. And with that finished, let's move into the final piece and the glamour shots.